Hey, João, are you going to plant in rock now? Laughter echoed through the village square. João stood there in the middle of everyone, holding a tiny corn seed in his trembling hand. It was all that remained after 8 months of drought. 8 months without a single drop of rain in the backlands. The neighbors around him laughed, pointed, mocked him. And the worst part was, they were right. The land was dead, cracked, hard as concrete. But what they didn't know was that João had buried the last bag of rice in the house that very morning. His 3 children had eaten their final meal. There was nothing left. Your children will die of hunger, you fool. João lowered his head. Tears began to fall. But he clenched that seed in his hand and whispered, "It's all I have left." He turned his back on the crowd and walked toward what once had been his field. Today it was a desert of cracked earth. His wife ran after him. "João, for God's sake, sell that seed. At least we can buy a loaf of bread for the children." He stopped, looked at her, looked at the seed, and said, "Maria, if I don't plant faith now, we'll die of despair before we die of hunger." Noon, scorching sun, 42 degrees in the shade. João grabbed the hoe and began to dig. The ground was so hard that the blade barely scratched it. He dug and dug and dug. His hands began to bleed. From afar, the neighbors still shouted, "You're crazy! God has abandoned you." How many of you have been called crazy for believing? Leave it in the comments. I read them all. He dug a hole about 8 inches deep. He placed the seed inside, covered it with that dry soil. Then he tried to water it. He grabbed the bucket and went to the well. Threw down the rope, empty. The well had dried up the week before. João dropped to his knees on the hot ground. Tears fell, dripping directly onto the soil where he had planted. And he prayed, not with beautiful words, but with the desperation of a father watching his children go hungry. "Lord, if you don't make this seed grow, I won't get up from here ever." If you've ever prayed like that, desperate, without pretty words, you're not alone. Type amen, and I'll know you understood me. At 3 in the morning, João woke up sweating cold, heart racing. He didn't know why. He got up and looked out the window. There was a light, a green light, coming from where he had planted. He ran outside barefoot, crossed the yard and reached the spot. And what he saw defied every law of nature. The seed had sprouted, 12 inches tall in 8 hours. But that wasn't all. The soil around the plant, in a perfect circle about 6 feet wide, was dark, moist, alive. The rest of the farm, dry, cracked, dead. But only that circle, where his tears had fallen, was wet. He dropped to his knees, touched the soil. It was cool, moist, smelled like rain. But it hadn't rained. The sky was full of stars. No clouds, no nearby river. There was no explanation. He screamed, a scream that woke the entire village. The neighbors came running, including the one who had laughed. They saw the plant. They saw the moist soil. They saw the impossible. The mocking neighbor fell to his knees, crying, "Forgive me. João, forgive me. Could you forgive someone who humiliated you like that?" Tell me in the comments. 3 months later, that corn plant produced 200 ears of corn. Agronomists said it was impossible, but the seeds from that corn never died, even during droughts. Today, farmers from 5 states come to get the blessed seeds, and João became a legend, the man who planted faith in dead land. If this story